All right, last thing. Pete Hegseth, as I said, left early this morning for Tampa, 103, please, and tweeted it out. I don't know who took this video, but show 103 and then 104. The Secretary of Defense giving that speech in Tampa. Here he is boarding his military plane to fly down. That tweet, 2:31 a.m. 2:31 a.m. So, like, it's like a 3-hour flight. I don't know why he had to leave quite so early. His speech wasn't until 8:45. But there he goes. Mystery that we still have not solved. There's another story in the Wall Street Journal about Pete Hegseth's use of Signal. It doesn't break new ground, but it's another. It adds some details about the circumstances under which he and others on his behalf used the account. Sean, who is out to get Pete Hegseth?
Well, first of all, I think that I read that story, and it may be one of the dumber stories. It made me stupider reading it because it shed no real light on the situation. I think that the issue, if Signal's authorized, it's authorized, full stop. They used the word sensitive because that's their new buzzword because it wasn't. I mean, he had a conversation with his wife about a media appearance. I mean, who gives a crap? That being said, who's out to get him? Do you think about who would likely be on the chain on some of those previous Signal things, right? Gosh, he just fired 4 senior staffers who were probably in some way, shape, or form part of one or a series of those previous chats.
They deny being out to get him, and they're his friends. So you still think it's them? Okay, Dan, do you think it's those guys?
Like I don't even think like if this isn't even like this is Professor Plum in the library with the candlestick. Like
Okay.
I took
Okay.
less time to
Okay.
solve that.
Professor Plum is covered with Pete Hegseth's blood.
Let's hope not.
Dan, do you think it's those guys?
I mean, it could be. I think the bigger problem for him is it sounds like half the building's out to get him. And it's just really hard to lead a bureaucracy where so many people don't like you, whether it's in government or as a CEO or a member of management, when your team doesn't like you. That is just a very bad.
With all due respect, I think that's an exaggeration. I think there are people who got pushed out who probably don't like him. I don't think there is a lot of people at the senior ranks in the military who are very excited about his leadership, who are so, I get that he may have some detractors, as most people do. And some people who have a vendetta against him now because of how they've been treated or whatever. But I would think it's definitely not the people that I
look. The stories are all that there are many. So you're right. I don't know what that definition is. Is that 5? Is it 10? Is it 100? 200? I don't know.
All I can tell you is there's at least one other cabinet member who have tons of people in the department who think the person has a lot of problems with how they're doing the job. And they're not, and you don't see daily stories about the same kind of chaos and question, judgment, etc. Something's going on here.
Well, lastly, and also, I just want to say, like, you belittle that, like, half those messages were, exercise and meeting your wife, but like 90% of Hillary Clinton's Gmails were getting my hair done. Huma, where are we going later today?
So she said.
Well,
so she said.
So all we get with Hegseth is like, only some of these are, classified.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.